Beautiful Saturday morning here in South Florida. Yet another task to do today. I have two of them actually. Water leak on the C-Class and rear brakes today on the 16 Range Rover Sport. So this will be a rear brake job on all 14 should be current, 21, 22 Range Rover Sport L494. So I'm going to jack the truck up from the jacking point, which is right there underneath that rear door rocker. I'll do one side at a time. I got the pads and rotors from Rock Auto. They are power stop units. I will show you part numbers, etc. But yeah, and here we go. Truck is jacked up. Wheel lock key is on there. She is a 22mm socket. So I'm just going to blast the wheel off with my impact here, and we will begin. Always remember to torque your lug nuts, because I did not last time I rotated the wheels and did the front brakes on this thing. So that is important. You get yourself one of these electric impacts. DeWalt makes light work of everything. She is a beaut. Alright, there's that. Just want to give her a little slap there. She'll come right off. Alright, so we have all that. These are the pads I bought. Evolutions Plus. This part number is 17-1692. These are the same pads that would go on basically any, these are base brakes, so 14 to essentially 22 trucks maybe, but I think 17 and up, if you got an HST, you got the Brembo package, so just pay attention to what you have. But again, if you have those small, same style looking caliper, then you will get this part number, the 17-692. I got it off Rock Auto. And then again, the rotors are power stops, but they're made by Centric, and they're made in China, it says, but what the heck do I know? So here's the rears. As you can see, don't mind my red overspray, but you can see all this glazing. This is all rough, and it has a nice lip to it right at the top here, so that's how you know they're smoked. Secondly, look at the pad, there's like nothing left to it. So, all right. We have one bolt there and one bolt here. So this one and then this one down here. They're both 13s. So you need to remove that so you can remove the caliper from the bracket. And then you're going to need to remove the bracket completely so you can get the rotor off. So I will get you those sizes in a second here. All right, so I got the two caliper bolts out. Again, these are 13 mil. They also do have inverted torques, or whatever you want to call them, in there as well, in case something happens or you strip something out. You will also need a 17mm wrench, because what you have to do is you have to hold this nut that's here like so, and then you loosen the bolt at the same time. Otherwise both spin and you'll be sitting there for an hour wondering how the hell you're supposed to get this off. So, and don't do a CP. If you're going to paint your brakes, CP is me, by the way, but don't do a CP. Tape off your stuff nice, remove the caliper, paint it, blah, blah, blah. I'm always in a rush. Everything's always, half. So, there you go. Caliper is off. If this bolt would just, listen, your job is done here. Give it up. All right, so I need my second hand for this. But as you can see, the piston is pushed out. So I'm going to show you how to compress that. See the lip in it. So you usually do a needle nose pliers. You just open them up and then you just turn it in like so. Make sure your e-brake is down. Make sure there's nothing stopping the rear brakes. They're not engaged, etc. All right, pull the caliper off. What was getting stuck was the pad low level sensor, which is right there. All you have to do is just reach in and just pull straight up. There's also a little tiny horseshoe clip that helps hold it in as shown. But as you can see, these pads were roasted. So So that's that. So now you have to take this bracket off so that way you can walk the rotor off. You're also going to have to remove this Torx that's holding the rotor on. It's like a set screw, but there are the 2 bolts for it. So I'm going to get a wrench, figure out what size those are, and go from there. Alright, to get this caliper bracket off, you need a 15. You can use a wrench, like I'm going to, because you need a 12-point socket head, which I don't have a 15, 12-point for whatever reason. So in order to do that, see, goes right on nice. It's got a little play in it, but nothing crazy. But 15, 12-point is the only one that fits. Everybody else online says it was like a 3/4 or 19 mil, which is way wrong, obviously, but here's where I'm at. I'm sure there's a proper tool from Land Rover, but I don't have it, so this will do the job. So I'm going to loosen this up, and then I'll get to the Torx bit on the rotor and pull that off. Alright, so the Torx on this is a T50. I did use a T50 to initially break it loose, but my T50 has seen better days, so I ended up using a T45 to extract it the rest of the way. Sometimes the rotors are going to be stuck on here because they've been on for so long, so be prepared to beat it from the back with a hammer. That's what she said, or he said, and then walk the rotor off, and there you go. She's a junk there. New rotor. I usually like to put them together, just make sure that they are the same, which they are. I am getting this rotor dirty from my gloves, but I will use a little brake clean. Make sure when you do put it on that the set screw groove there is back in the factory location, so that way you can put this bolt back on. So what it does is it holds the rotor so it doesn't jump around like it's doing right now. So there you go. So now that's on there. You're gonna tighten this back up. You could grease this bolt or put, I don't know, Loctite on it if you're a nervous Nelly, but I am not. This is not something I want stuck on my truck if I ever have to get these brakes off. I really don't feel like, you know, having to drill this out or whatever, but you really don't need this thing. It's really just for a helping hand. So that's all tight, as you can see. Now we will put the caliper bracket back on, but I'm actually going to wait a second, and I am going to compress this piston. Let's see. I'm sorry for all the breathing. I hate when I watch this stuff back. I always sound like I'm so out of shape, but I am. But anyways, so I'm going to put a needle nose pliers tip in there, and then I'm going to put pressure on it, and I'm going to twist it in. You're going to turn it to the right, like you're tightening it, and that'll compress it in. Alright, so I was a little wrong about compressing that caliper piston. The truck needs to be in e-brake service mode or maintenance mode. So to do that, you have to floor the gas, push down on the park brake lever, and hold it. So you're holding your foot to the floor, you're holding the e-brake down, and then you have to cycle the ignition on, off, on again, and it should do it for you. So I'm going to try that right now with my remaining finger. On, off, on. I'm still holding. Still holding. I released just to see if it would do it. There you go. Alright, so after you on, off, on, you could release the e-brake and release your foot off the gas. It'll say parking brake in maintenance mode, as you can see right there. So now you can cycle your ignition off. To reactivate the parking brake once you're done is you simply pull up on it like you wanted to use it, and it'll reset itself. So now I should be able to just use my C-clamp tool here and just compress this piston. So normally what you want to do is just take an old pad and throw it in there on the piston, and then use your C-clamp tool. This is from Harbor Freight, and you're just going to do one of these with it, basically, like so, and then just twist it to compress it in. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll get right back to you. Okay, piston has been compressed completely. I did stuff an old pad in there just to show you. You do this, there's the pad, then you compress it with your C-clamp tool once the truck is in e-brake service mode. And then I went ahead and put this caliper bracket back on. Again, 215mm 12-point. Tighten that up. Tighten the screw on the rotor. So now it's time for the pads. So we will cut this open here. So we'll get a tripod soon if anybody, tripod soon, so everybody can watch every procedure. I'm going to cut this bag open. That's the best effing bag I've ever seen. So I'm going to cut this open and I'll put the pads in there and I'll show you how that's done. It was a bag within a bag. It was like a dream within a dream. Okay, so one pad's in, the inner. Here's the outer pad. It has the ear and an ear. They go into this slot and then that slot right there. And you got to make sure that this little open U shape is facing up, because that is where the low pad level sensor goes. So what I do is jam that in there, and then that goes in the top. Make sure they're secure like so. And then from there, you can take your caliper, walk it back down onto your pads. You do want to make sure that the low pad level sensor goes in the center of the caliper hole right there, and then you're going to want to secure it to the inner pad right there. Here's my little horseshoe clip that was in there originally. I don't know if I should put this on. I don't know. I'm going to try it first. If I need to, you might need to take this off, this little horseshoe clip, and put it on the low pad level sensor there first in that little groove there. Whatever. You know what? Yes. I'm just going to do that now. And then I'm going to walk them both on at the same time. All right, here's the nearly finished product. You just walk the caliper on. You can actually stuff the low sensor in there after the fact. My clip kept falling out. I lost it somewhere in the abyss here, but I still was able to just stuff it in and it's secure. Now you're just going to tighten up the two 13mm bolts on here. Again, you may need your 17mm wrench to hold the nut here on the caliper itself when you go to tighten it. And then that is it. I'm going to spray brake clean on the rotor, caliper, the whole 9 yards, because of all my contamination. Cleans it off like so. And that's it. She's ready for break-in. And that's that. Off to the other side. I mean, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Again, don't forget to reset your e-brakes when you get in the truck. Pump the brake a few times so the piston, gets back to where it needs to be, and then pull the e-brake up like you're trying to set the e-brake, and it'll take it out of maintenance mode. Thank you for watching. Just a quick peek at the driver's side here. This honestly took me less than 10 minutes. It took me longer to take the wheel off than to swap all this out. So new rotors on, caliper brackets back on, about to slap the new pads in, and she is good to roll. So passenger side took me a little longer because my first side and first time doing it on this truck, especially once I figured out the e-brake mode. Only the passenger side has the low pad sensor on it. Driver's side does not. So again, one less thing to do, but cake job overall. Should take you, I would say, an hour, especially knowing what I know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Plus I'll list the tools in the description just so you can have all that stuff ready. All right, just finishing up the brake job. So again, foot to the floor, hold. Well, actually, I don't need to do that anymore. Let me just start it like normal. Pulled the e-brake thing up. Still showing the yellow brake fault, but we'll see. Hold it. No. Alright, so I'll try and just reverse the procedure then and see if it does that for me. So again, foot to the floor. I'll pull this up, I guess. I'll try that. On, off, on. Releasing both. Looks like I fixed it. Okay, yeah, that was it. So foot to the floor, pull the parking brake lever up, on, off, on, done. Yeah, pull the parking brake up, works like normal, push it down, press front brake and parking brake, switch to release. Okay, there you go. Again, push the brake a couple times, make sure you get all your pressure back. Go brake them in. Hear that little noise? I have a little fix video for that. I guess while it's here, I'll actually fix it the right way.